Welcome to the best hour of their day podcast with your hosts, Jason Fernandez
and me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
as both coaches and affiliate owners,
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day. Make it specific.
Specific.
Don't suck.
Are we recording, Katie?
Yes.
Ready? Welcome back. Best hour of their day. The full squad here. Ackerman, Fern, Katie. Guys, I'm extra cranky today.
I have a question.
Go for it. If it has to do with my sauna, I'm going to be upset.
Oh, no, I know why you're not getting in the sauna, because you're giving the list of excuses that many affiliate owners give for not getting things done. How is that different than any other day is my question.
Me being cranky? Do you think I just live cranky and I didn't realize it till...
Oh, I'm not. I don't have any thoughts about it. I think at this point it's just fact.
I was telling Roz after you and I spoke, I was like, Fern said he can tell I'm cranky. And she was like, yeah, everybody can. Like, damn it.
You're like, everybody can tell. I'm like, bro, you're like reading a picture book.
Speaking of picture book, my kid's book's coming out.
Although so last night you hit me with the text.
He brushed over that, Katie.
Last night he hit me with the text, Katie, which he failed too. So just for everybody.
I called you. What do you mean I hit you with a text?
No, you hit me with a text later, at which point I was just like, you should.
Oh, yeah.
So Jay and I, we hugged it out yesterday. We're like, hey, bro,
virtually,
you're cranky, and I just want to let you know, I see it. Yes, we can communicate better, but obviously, I can tell you're under a bit of stress. So we talk about our feelings. We express our love for each other.
That feels like a lie, Fern. I feel like
he
wasn't lying. That was true.
I quite literally said the words "I love you." I wasn't serious, but I did say those words.
Did you say them?
Yeah, I did. And clearly you didn't care. Then, so we go through all of this, and Jay's been giving us the backstory, like and I get it, right? I'm like, Ross has been sick. They got serious stuff going on, and we've
got COVID.
Understandable.
Ross has COVID, but she's just testing negative every time.
I'm not going to approach that topic. Then at the last night, he hits me with this one. He's like, "Oh, and I forgot to tell you that I quit drinking coffee like 2 weeks ago." And I was like, "You motherfucker, you should have started there. Like that should have been the lead-in for the whole thing." And I've been like, "Okay, now I know what to expect." I'm
wasn't
thinking
2 weeks ago.
I thought you had some life crisis going on. I'm like, no, you're just going through withdrawal and being a cranky asshole.
It wasn't 2 weeks ago. It was after you guys left. When Marcus was here, he convinced me to go to matcha.
Well,
so tea for
that's what you get. Take Marcus's business advice. Don't take his coffee advice.
Here's the tea. I don't notice a difference.
Well, I do.
Fern notices a difference.
Fern does.
You should.
I don't know why.
I'm. Also, I don't know how you're going to do that when you're trying to promote Best Hour Coffee. I feel like this is a conflict of interest. We started a matcha green tea company now.
No, we still have Best Hour Coffee. You can still go buy some Best Hour Coffee. This is only for February. I plan on drinking coffee again. I might pull a Lindsay Andrew and
just do a wet. Oh, we call it a wet February. Yeah,
for all of you that follow Lindsay on social media, she did dry January.
Which was
drank more than 50% of the time. Yeah. So my no coffee February might mean just 1 cup a day instead of 3. I was overdoing it, for the record. But let me tell you, Fern.
No such thing.
Part of the reason as overdoing coffee.
Yeah, you can't overdo it. I mean, unless you pee coffee beans, then I'm like, maybe you should chill out. But outside of that, I don't think you could overdo it.
Part of the reason I'm cranky is
that would be like that's not a kidney stone. That's like it's a coffee stone. Where you just pee out beans.
If I peed out a bean, I'd eat that bean.
That is disgusting.
Part of the reason I'm so cranky are these damn affiliate owners. They're driving me crazy.
Well, there's a difference between you and I. I'm stoic. You are not.
You are. I have no stoicism when it comes to affiliate owners. I have anger. I just have anger.
I might be that you see some of yourself in there.
That's a lot of it.
Which is what we were experiencing prior to. I was like, Jay, you need to get in the sauna. You're like, I can't. I'm like, it's 14 feet from where you're standing right now. And you're like, I don't know when to turn it on. I'm like, go turn it on right now.
It is pretty
I
close.
can't. I'm not going to do it. I'm like, all right.
I
know, that's why I understand why Best Hour CrossFit is struggling.
Best Hour CrossFit is the most successful business I own. So I'm frustrated with affiliate owners because, similar to me with my sauna, they just make excuses, and I got a couple of reasons I'm frustrated. One, it's like they need help, they want help, but then they're unwilling to get help. And
it's
then
fear.
Two, these CrossFit affiliate owner Facebook groups, they should all be shut down. They should be shut down.
Are you want to ban them? You want to?
I think they should be. I think they should be banned.
I think as the white supremacist that you are, I understand why you would want to ban and censor them.
I'm going to ban things. I'm starting to ban things. And if I were running on the white supremacist platform for president, do you think there is such a thing?
I mean, apparently.
There's got to be.
There is now.
If not, I will start it. But these have, and I know some of the people that listen to this show are in those groups, maybe even run the groups. It's like the blind leading the blind.
Not the white supremacist group. You're talking about the affiliate owner group.
The affiliate owner group. We do have quite the white supremacist following. But no, these and it's like I see the questions and it's like this is the problem. Like they're all giving each other terrible advice. They're all in there just bashing things. Like even the we haven't even touched upon the Eric Rosa thing, and it comes out and you go in. There's two major Facebook affiliate groups. You go in either one, and it's like people are just being negative. And I think honestly, Vern, Katie, I've seen the negativity on social media and online these days, and it wore me down this week because I'm just like, why? What are people getting from being like that dude that's commenting on mine? I'm like, what is your goal, dude? Like, you're just a turd. Like, what are you trying to accomplish by being negative? Whether it's talking bad about Eric Rosa or me or whatever, it's just like, what do these people have? Like, I feel sorry for these people.
Well, A, it's fear. So it's worth talking about. But B, I do think it's understanding they're aware of it, just not in themselves. So when they see a client who does this, they're like, that's who they'll complain about.
That's true.
But the biggest thing I would try to implore people to just do some deep learning or self-searching. And I will say this at the end of time. I have been the worst affiliate owner of all time at different periods of my affiliate ownership in 12 years.
We both have.
Yeah. And I have been guilty of every single topic that we discuss 10 times over. And there's something to consider, which is most of the people that are stuck in this odd loop of thinking that they can continue to do what they're doing and somehow the ship will just right itself. It's like it's the definition of insanity. You cannot continue to do that and think that for whatever reason the market will just randomly swing in your favor and then all will be well. We talked about this many, many times, but I think the lack of recognition is kind of the problem, and I think most people are not addressing root cause. So you could, again, the analogies from coaching athletes to coaching affiliate owners are endless. They just all the way across the board. So if I'm in many instances, it's like if somebody's we'll go immature squat. Okay. And somebody's like, chest up, chest up, chest up. This is analogous to an affiliate owner. It's just like, I need more members. I need more members. I need more members. When the problem is not, you need more members, as is the same in that instance, coaching the squat, that the problem is not that their chest is forward. The problem is that their stance is jacked up. So we have to think about root cause. What is the root cause of your problems in your affiliate? It is probably not, in many instances, and we've unpacked a lot of affiliates, the thing that is giving you pain. Right? That is the point of pain. It is not, however, in fact, the actual problem. It is a downstream effect of the problem that you don't want to fix for any number of reasons. Either you have a weird thing with money and you don't want to address the fact that you should raise your prices because you feel bad, or you don't like to do systems and operations, so you just avoid it and be like, well, it's fine, or you think that your coaching is off the charts good and somehow that is going to continue to bring you members in perpetuity because people are so blown away by your coaching skills, or you think that running ads is going to solve your problem when it's actually a retention issue, and you have no idea that you are bringing in 9 people every month and losing 10, and you're like, I don't know what the problem is, and I'm like, right, that's the problem. Is you're the person who's like chest up, chest up, chest up. I don't know why they're not getting their torso up right.
Why they're not getting better?
Right, you're approaching and working on the wrong problem. That problem is not going to go away. At no point is that person going to get their torso upright with their heels touching together. The stance is too narrow. And understanding root cause. Root cause is going back in and fixing all of those things. And this is the same thing we'll have when people going through the course. They want to jump around in the course. I'm like, you can't jump around in the course. Do not jump to the thing that you think you need because it demonstrates a lack of understanding of what is wrong. Start and do it in order. Everything stacks on top of each other, just like it does in coaching. You cannot grow an affiliate if you do not understand how to build an enticing offer that is built logically and then attach a good customer service experience to it, and then layer on top of a downstream effect of retention practices that would be both relative and relevant to the client as they progress in their timeline with you in this financial transaction moving forward. It's not one thing, right? We've talked about this before. Retention is not a thing. And understanding all of those pieces put together, understanding that you can't run classes over time because it's your number one retention tool, right? You can't do that. That's a big problem. So it's all those things. And I think it's a lack of understanding. They're reacting to the pain, not to the problem. Whoa.
Woo. Almost took myself out sneezing there.
Did I blow your mind with that?
Dude, that literally was my mind coming out of my face with what you just said. No, everything you said is true. It's just, I love box owners. Like, I truly do. I can appreciate and respect anyone that decides to go out on their own and do this thing because they want to help people and want to give back to something that they love. But at the same time, they have to realize and admit to themselves they don't know everything. You know, it's incredible. Talk about analogies. Box owners open a gym to provide coaching. However, they don't realize they need coaching themselves.
Well, they're not coachable.
Yeah, right. They're not coachable. I mean, we get calls, and like sometimes the calls are great, and then they're like, "Hey, you know, this is a little more expensive than I thought." I'm like, we're totally reasonably priced. For the listeners, like, we are reasonably priced. You will, if you do the work, you will get a return on investment promptly with working with us. If you cannot afford us, you don't own a business. And I don't know what nicer way to say that. Like, if you cannot afford, I know our rates. I don't want to put them on blast right now on the podcast, but I know our rates. And I'm telling you right now, I would say this much as a human being, and I know I'm a little crazy, and financially, like, I'm pretty diligent and smart about it, and I save. I got plenty of Bitcoin. But if you cannot write a check for our paid in full, you are doing something wrong in life.
Yeah, I mean,
is that absurd? Is that absurd to say?
It is the short answer, but it's not necessarily practical, right? So to
sure, but
say,
I mean, and
say that somebody can't solve a problem who doesn't understand their problem, I don't know is entirely accurate, right? So it is an accurate depiction of the snapshot person, but it doesn't really address the root of the issue. So it's actually, again, this is like myself. So this was me 6 years ago. No, actually more than that, 6 or 7 years ago. We'll call it 2012. You've
been open about 3 years at this point.
Roughly. Yeah, roughly 3 years at this point. And maybe even a little bit further along than that. As an affiliate owner, I was analogous to the client who comes in and you're coaching them and they're like, oh yeah, this is just where I put my feet, right? Like and I'm not gonna be able to get my hands up into this position because I had like a tricep thing. So I have like limited mobility on this deal. And you're like, all right, so come a little bit higher in the squat. Yeah, I know. I'm really kind of like, I can't get down there. So this is just kind of where I squat. And And then you're like, hey, can you extend your elbows on the pull-up? And they're like, wow, my elbows are kind of stuck in this position, so that's just kind of how it is, and that's just, I really can't do that. And you're just a person who has an answer for everything, all of which are incorrect. And that's what a lot of affiliate owners are. And again, saying the quiet part out loud, the reason for that is because it's painful to acknowledge that you don't know what you're doing. Right? It is painful. This athlete feels embarrassed that they can't move the way that they should, and they want to come with an excuse for why they can't do it, or why they don't want to do the work to get to the place that they want to get with their movement. The affiliate owner, me, is doing the same thing. They're making excuses to convince themselves that they know what they're doing, and that it's some outside force that is against them, that is not allowing them to, make their way to greatness. And it's just not true. It's just not true. The people that we work with that are the most coachable are no different than the athletes in your affiliate who are the most coachable. It's not shocking that they perform the best. And when I say the best, I don't mean have the best scores. I mean they get the greatest return on their time and investment. They get better. They can play with their grandkids now. They lose weight at an appropriate rate. They gain strength at an appropriate rate, because you tell them, like, come in, make sure you do what the coaches tell you, show up more than 3 times a week, stop eating like trash, and if you have a problem with your mobility, we will help you with that. And make sure that you get some good sleep and drink an appropriate amount of water. The affiliates that are just like, I need you to do the lessons in the order that they're written. I need you to do your homework. I need you to block your calendar so that you do your homework. Show up to the calls. Submit your homework on time so that I can give feedback to you. And implement it. Do it today.
And we have some box owners, and for the record, since we've launched, we've worked with over 100 affiliates. And I would venture to say almost all of those have been successful, but we've had some like outliers. Like, I wouldn't even call them outliers, because it's probably about 20%.
I can think of 2 that just quite literally didn't do anything.
Yeah. We have those, right? And we follow up with them.
Again, no different than the client who just buys a membership and you don't see them for 6 months. And
I'm not going to get results.
Where you at?
Right.
So,
but we have some boxes that like are grossing 30 to 40 grand a month now. When they signed up with us, they were literally bringing in 5,000 to 7,000. Like, they send us pictures of their bank statements. Like, they send us pictures of, other metrics. Like, this works. And to me, I guess my frustration is this. It's no different than the CrossFit affiliate owner. Somebody walks in 30 pounds overweight. Right away, you're like, oh man, I can help this person. Like, they're going to lose weight. They're going to feel better. And that person says to you, I probably should drop 10 pounds before I come in. And I'm like, well, have you tried that before? Yeah, I try that every year. It never works, but this is the year. This year, I'm going to drop 10 pounds before I come in. And my attitude is like, I'll never see you again.
This is the running joke between Chuck and everybody else. He's like, this year I'm going to get my life together, man.
Yeah, but Chuck has the wherewithal to know it's a joke.
Right. Yeah, affiliate owners are like, nope, this year things are going to change.
This is the year, like, I'll make some changes. I'll be able to afford this. And I'm like, no, you won't.
I mean, I'll speak to my story, because I do think
go back to yours.
There's nothing unique about my story, is what I would tell you. I was the run of the mill box owner. I'm not geographically located in some place that gives me an advantage or disadvantage.
I don't think anybody is, for that matter.
Yeah, there's some spots where just like, New York City, if you plopped one there, obviously it's relative, right? Like, there's a lot of people there, so that does bode well for you, like, getting clients, or versus if I was in like rural West Virginia and like everybody has to drive 45 minutes to get somewhere. That's a real thing. But cost and all that stuff is relative. When I started to improve was at the same exact moment that I started to improve as an athlete. When I shut my mouth and stopped pretending that I know what I was talking about, and I said, just tell me what to do. I will do it. I will trust the process, and I will do what you tell me, and I will do what you tell me when you tell me to do it. That is when I started to get better. It's when I started to get better as an athlete, playing sports, and even in CrossFit. When I wasn't just like, oh, that's just, my elbows won't, my arms won't externally rotate, and then Coach Bergner's just like, maybe you should just turn them this way. And I'm like, oh, okay. Turns out you know a bit more than I do. Right. And the same thing when I started working with the coach, I was finally like, hey, I'm not going to assume anything. I'm just going to just do it. And I'm going to push the I believe button. And I don't believe on always pushing the I believe button, but in some instances, like, you should just push it. And I think it depends on who you're working with. Like, some people, I think, garner pushing the I believe button, and I think you should be skeptical of other people. And I think that's just rapport. So that's what I think people just ask yourself that hard question. Like, do I really know what I'm doing? Like, how is this going for me?
Well,
like,
that's the question, right? How's it going for you? How's that working for you? If you're a box owner, you're bringing home less than $2,000 a month, or you're a box owner and you're just feeling overwhelmed and burned out, or you're a box owner that's, getting a part-time job or never left your other job because you can't afford it. Like, something's going wrong. I think there's this idea in the CrossFit space that, box owners aren't a lucrative business model. And you see it, going back to that Facebook group thing. And I know we have buddies that run the groups, but come on, like, they're just so negative. And the questions I see asked and the answers they get, it's like, where it would be like your newest member coming in asking hey, I really want to improve my snatch. What should I do? Except they're not asking you. They're asking the member that joined the day after them. And they're like, I know less than you. I don't know what to tell you. Which is snatch again? Which one's that? And then it's like, that's what goes on in that group. And they're just negative and they complain about home office. And it's like, man, people just take no ownership of their own lives. And I think the internet has made it so easy to just bitch and moan about everything.
I just think it's I think it's all based in fear, and I get it. Like, I was there.
What do you keep saying that? What do you mean? Like, where's the fear?
The fear is in acknowledging to yourself that you're not good at something. Like, that's scary. It hurts. Like, it hurts the ego. It puts you in a vulnerable spot. And I think a lot. We talked about it on the podcast hasn't come out yet, but like Tosh, right? Tosh is an accomplished person. Incredibly successful in my mind for what he does, right? And he would probably disagree. But he's incredibly vulnerable, and the vulnerability and the ability,
I can't wait for that to come out.
The ability to acknowledge weaknesses and I don't mean just kind of like, yeah, I'm not good at that. I mean, like, truly acknowledge and take in, this is broken and I don't have the answers. That has to happen. So people aren't gonna make that leap until they just kind of come to that conclusion and they really accept it. Be like, this is not what I signed up for, and it's not. And thinking that they have the answer. So, like, your athlete's like, hey, here's what I need in order to get stronger, and I'm like, well, how do you know? Because I haven't even looked at you move, so I don't know, and I happen to be the expert. And somehow you've come to the conclusion that this is what you need. And then you come to find out they don't need any of that. I'm like, your mechanics, I don't care how much squatting you do, your mechanics will not lead to you getting stronger because of your position. Like, we're talking about physics now. Like, you're not going to beat, physics. Like, it's not going to happen. And it's the same thing here. And it's like, it's just like, just truly taking that in and accepting it and just being coachable. Like, be coachable. Don't assume that you know. Don't assume that your situation is unique. There's enough affiliates out there that we could tell you, like, you're not unique. I'm sorry. I know everybody wants to be a unique snowflake, but you're not. 50,000 other people have your same scenario. And the ones that have chosen to figure out how to actually fix root cause are the ones making their way ahead. Which boat do you want to be on is the question. Do you want to be in the ones who think they know the problem, or do you want to get in the group who's just like, hey, listen, all of us are here to learn, and we're not here to assume that we know what we're doing, and we're here to grow. So just tell me what's going on so that I can learn. Dude, I'm still learning, and I'm pretty damn good at this.
The boxes that we spoke about earlier that are having tremendous success, there's nothing special about them. They're not in, like, Manhattan. They're all over the country. I mean, look at Ryan. We're both wearing his boxes shirt today. He's in, like, bumblefuck California. Like, he can't even get a coach to move there, but he's absolutely crushing it. Trish is on Long Island. John is in Massachusetts. Like, Jen is in Texas. They're all over the place, and they're not in major.
In the midst of a lockdown, some of them are hitting like record numbers. I was on another call; they're just like best month ever. I'm just like, okay, that's great. But again, these are the people that are like
they put the work in, hard
put the work in. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're not like, give me the magic bullet. They're like, all right, what's the next step? You know, it's an athlete, and it's like, hey, I need you to come in. I need you to do 5 minutes of mobility every single day for the next 1 month. And they come in, they're like, I'm done. And then you're like, I'm going to look at your position, and I'm like, they did it.
You got better, yeah.
You got better. They're not going to come in and be like, well, there's no change here. And I'm like, I haven't seen you doing any of that. You came in, you scratched your tricep once, called that mobility, and they're like, I don't know why it's not getting better. And it's like, because you're not putting in the work. Right? It's not easy. But going back to what we said the other day, you have to enjoy the process. This is when this becomes fun, is when you forget about the end state and you start focusing on the process. That is when this becomes fun, and that's when you get good at it, because there is no end state. Just spoiler alert, everybody. There is no end state. It's just working through the process. The end state is either when you die, you sell it, or you go out of business. That's the end state. What's going to happen between now and any of those three endpoints, that's completely up to you and depends entirely on your mindset with regard to how you approach the process. Like, if you're the person who's like, I don't have time, guess what? You're full of crap.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give a shout out to two other boxes. Devin, he's in West Virginia, and Josh, I don't even remember what state Josh is in. Josh is in like Alabama. It's not Alabama, but he sent me a text yesterday. That's why I was just looking for my phone.
I think it's West Virginia.
West Virginia too. Yeah, and it was like, we just had.
I think they're both West Virginia.
He's in like this small town, and he was up over 20 grand. This kid's 23 years old. Imagine being 23, making that type of money.
It's either Virginia or West Virginia, but it's definitely a Virginia. I don't know.
We can look it up. I'll look it up, bro.
It's Danville, Virginia.
Yeah, Danville. Yeah.
Anyway. I mean, he's just crushing it, and it's like he just put in the work. This young kid just put in the work. Devin as well. You know, they're not in these crazy places. I think, like you're saying, part of my frustration is I'm trying to grow, trying to be better. Always, you guys are, and so when someone comes to me and they're like unwilling to challenge themselves and to seek growth, it sends me up a wall. Especially when it's like, here, I've got the magic pill for you. Do you want it? No, I'm good. Like, take this fucking pill. Just shove it down your throat.
I think, a lot of people, which is, I don't think it's an invalid question. I just think it's the wrong question. They're like, what is this going to do for me?
To make your life significantly better. You're going to have more money and more time. That's what it's going to come down to.
Like, how much am I going to increase my average client value? Like, how much more revenue I'm going to make? I'm like, I don't know. Right? I'm just going to be very honest with you. I don't know. Here's what I can absolutely promise you. I will find what is broken and I will fix it. And then we will figure out what that will yield. But anybody who's going to tell you this is like, by the way, for God's sake, everybody who's running these fitness experts ads on Instagram, please go jump off of a bridge. Like, I cannot get them out of my feed. Like, it is insane. Like, guarantee you $60,000 in revenue. I'm like, that's an insane statement. And by the way, in the small print, it says like, we definitely can't guarantee that. I'm like, so immediately you're full of shit. So, but my point is this. I'm not going to tell you any of that. Number one, because I don't actually know what the problem is. And we're going to have to dig in. We're going to have to dig in hard. And it's going to be really painful. And I'm going to be like, that's broken. You need to fix that. And you're going to be like, I don't really want to do that because it sounds painful and hard. I'm like, right. Which is the exact reason that you should probably work on that. And then we're going to fix that. And then you have to stack many, many more things on top of that. I'm going to fix this first. Root cause. Root cause is you don't know what you're doing. So let's establish that. Like, you don't even know why you're in business. Let's start there. And then from there, we're going to be like, hey, I need to go right to, I need to get into the marketing. I'm like, well, if you go right to marketing and you skip getting your prices in order and creating some structure and a good onboarding process, you're right back in the same boat. Again, assuming that you know what the problem is, you don't have a marketing problem, right? And by the way, that is a really deep well when we talk about marketing, right? If you think you're just, I need to go to the marketing, I'm like, well, it doesn't work unless I did all of the things prior to that, right? It doesn't work, right? It's just a good idea. And there's no shortage of good ideas floating around in the world. You don't need another good idea. You need to fix your shit. And you need to figure out like what exactly it is that's broken. That is what I will guarantee you. Outside of that, you got to put in the work. And anybody that guarantees you anything other than that is a shyster. That's it. When you walk in your coach, be like, hey, I want to back squat 400 pounds. I'm like, I don't know. I would like to see you air squat. I want to see what your current strength is. And then we might have to fix multiple things. You might be back squatting 135 with horrendous mechanics, at which point I'm like, it could happen 5 years from now. But I'm not going to guarantee you that. What I guarantee is I'm going to fix your squat. And you will get stronger. To what degree you will get stronger, that's entirely predicated on how much work you put in. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.